Key hack. If you're starting off with a half a teaspoon of one of these powders and it starts to work, don't increase that dosage, increase how often you do that dosage. How to get started with probiotics. One word, alchemist. Be an alchemist. You want to be able to switch and try and isolate different types of species and strains. And when's the dosage? Do you do it on an empty stomach? Do you do it with a meal? Do you do it at night, the beginning of the day? Do you do it 3 times a day, 4 times a day? These are the things you want to do and personalize to your specific needs to start with probiotics. And that's why I love Natren, because they give you that ability to be an alchemist, not just take a pill, right? If you take a pill with multi-strains and there's 50 billion CFUs, which is a colony forming unit, you don't know what's working or you don't know what's causing the problem. So quickly, how many of you have tried Natren before and then noticed diarrhea or bloating or brain fog and said, oh, I can't do this? Actually, that could be a huge benefit. That means it's working. It's a lot better to have that kind of reaction than to have no reaction at all, which means there might not even be living beneficial bacteria. What you have to do is scale back and find the specific route that's going to work for you. So let's talk about these two differences. Here we have Healthy Trinity. Healthy Trinity is your capsule, which has the 3 super strains independent from each other in their own oil-based bubble. Then you have the powders. Now this blue means that it's dairy version. If it's green, that means it's dairy free. But these powders, each one of these has its own specific strain in it, right? So we have here the Lactobacillus acidophilus. We have here the Bifidobacterium. We have here the Lactobacillus bulgaricus. So depending on what the core issue is or the root issue you're dealing with, you might want to start with a different type of strain and slowly work up. So what I love about the powders, if you're just getting started, is you can get a teaspoon and you can just take out maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of, let's say, the Bifidobacterium. This is the easiest for your body to take. And just try a little bit of that and maybe try it on an empty stomach so you can notice a reaction. Right? If you eat some food and you take the probiotics and you take these other supplements and you have a reaction, you don't know what caused it. So isolate the probiotics for a little bit. Once you know they're not a problem, you then take them with food. But the Bifidobacterium is going to be the easiest to take. So if you're worried about small intestine bacteria overgrowth, if you're worried about an H. pylori infection or severe reactions, the Bifidobacterium. Now let's say that the Bifidobacterium is still causing you a little bit of a reaction called a Herxheimer reaction. Then you might want to start with LifeStart. That's the Bifido infantis strain made for infants. So it's the most delicate bacteria to start. But after 3, 4, 5 days, maybe even a week, you start to notice it'll get easier and easier to take these probiotics because you're cleaning house, your body's utilizing them, you're getting more used to it. So it's a really good sign. So maybe start with the Bifido and then maybe add in the Digest LAC, which is great if you're constantly getting constipation. The Bulgaricus helps your body break down and eliminate all those things. So remember, bacteria helps you break down food. It nourishes the immune system. It helps heal the mucosal lining. It's just all around the most important thing for GI health. And lastly, the Lactobacillus acidophilus. Fantastic, but not fantastic if you're dealing with SIBO. So if you get a reaction, this is the first one I would look at, as I've noticed a lot of my clients can't use the Lactobacillus acidophilus if they got that upper GI bacterial infection. So you can be an alchemist and micromanage which ones you want to take. Key hack. If you're starting off with a half a teaspoon of one of these powders and it starts to work, don't increase that dosage, increase how often you do that dosage. So if you've got a half a teaspoon, you're doing all right, start to do a half a teaspoon 2 times or 3 times a day. As that gets better, then maybe it's 3/4 a teaspoon 2 to 3 times a day and keep going. And once you feel like you're able to do 1 teaspoon of all 3 powders, then you might look at the Healthy Trinity. This is going to be really great where it still isolates the probiotics. You can take it on the go, you can travel with it, you can just in and out, capsule, extremely effective. But if you can't take the powders yet, maybe don't try the Healthy Trinity. Maybe give these a chance and work up to it to make sure you're dealing with the core issue. And once you figure out what's working and what's not, that's going to give you a clue on what the root cause issue is in your gut. So this also, if you're going to the bathroom more than 4 times a day, I would stick with the powders, because remember, the capsules might go into your body and you'll have too quick of a transit time to be able to properly absorb the bacteria. These have to get past your bile and your hydrochloric acid to be effective in your small intestine and your large intestine. So, guys, if you have any questions about how to start with probiotics, let me know. I hope that makes sense. Be an alchemist. Utilize the powders versus the capsules. You can do both of them at the same time if you'd like. Happy healing. Thanks.